you mentioned all the political parties. Now, looking at 2024, on the backdrop of what we have been discussing, do you think, two questions. Number one, do you think the BJP as an election machine is practically invincible now? Number two, the present state of Congress is only fueling that invincibility.
So with the rider that I haven't been spending as much time looking closely at politics, I've been looking more at technology for the last 2 years. So I've not been out there talking to political circles and all the way I once would have done it. So I'm no particular expert in this anymore, looking at it very closely. But
I want to know your instincts on this.
my instincts on it are simply saying that I think the BJP is in a very, very dominant position right now. And I think the dominance is being fed by the fact that there's no effective opposition right now. And yes, you're right that the Congress has vacated a large geographical part of the country where it was only the Congress that could take on the BJP, whether it is, looking all the way up the western coast, those are places where only the Congress was fighting with the BJP. There's a far tougher challenge that comes to the BJP from various regional parties, whether it's in Tamil Nadu or West Bengal or Odisha or Telangana, or, you name it.
Yeah.
The regional parties are putting up a fairly big fight. So, as of this moment in 2022, the BJP looks in a very, very strong position. They are at least in the fight, and the Congress is right now showing more signs of fighting within itself. And the opposition parties seem right now more interested in saying who is the challenger, rather than actually defeating the BJP.
Yeah.
Having said that, 2 years is a long time in politics, so you don't entirely know what will happen. And it is possible that if the opposition gets into this federal front sort of a situation, where instead of saying if there's one person who pops up and says, I'm going to be the challenger to Narendra Modi, very tough. Narendra Modi is a very, very dominant, powerful politician. And I don't think it's very easy for any individual person to come up and challenge him for a long, long time. But maybe
you don't see any regional political setup from the opposition space emerging as a national alternative, the way some of them are at least trying to project or trying.
As I said, it depends on if any of them think that they will become the challenger individually to Narendra Modi. I would be very surprised if that was to actually succeed. So if you have a Kejriwal or a Nitish Kumar or a Mamata Banerjee or certainly Rahul Gandhi saying that I am going to become the challenger to Narendra Modi, I think they're going to struggle because I don't think they will be able to dislodge him. But what you have said, that an alliance of opposition parties, is that more like, that's at least what you keep hearing. I've heard Trinamool Congress and Nitish and others, KCR, all talking about we must come together. We must come together as an alliance of state parties fighting the BJP. That would, at least my instinct would be to say that has more chance of succeeding than one person trying to take it.
Than one person trying to do it. Whereas Prashant Kishore in one of his interactions very candidly said that merely by bringing everybody together, it may see as an arithmetic force, but there might not be the chemistry that is required to take on a behemoth that BJP's election machinery has become today. Do you agree with that even if there is an alliance that poses challenge to the existing BJP setup, there needs to be some chemistry there?
Yes, but I mean, I saw that same interview which Prashant Kishore had done, and if you see where he went on to talk about it further, he was really talking about the same sort of a thing. There are 150 seats where the BJP has no chance. You're going to figure out what has to happen elsewhere. So, but I mean, look, fundamentally, is the opposition going to be able to get its act together by 2024? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. When you look at the state when you look at what is happening in the Congress party right now, where they're not even being able to agree on who going to be the president of the party, there seems to be this never-ending saying that, okay, somehow persuade Rahul Gandhi to stand. I'm not quite sure where that is headed. I mean, I think coming back to my television days, I think one of the clips that I had done on a big fight, which is it goes viral every single year, and it's been going viral every single year since 2015, it's now 7 years, is that Gardner Harris clip of, where he said that Rahul Gandhi is not, we keep on saying Rahul Gandhi, grow into your role, but he can't do it. And that seems to be a never-ending question for the Congress.
Do you think Rahul Gandhi is right now the biggest ally of Narendra Modi?
I know many people in the BJP think that. I'm sure that Narendra Modi himself thinks that. But whether it is or isn't, these are questions, I guess, it's there for the Congress party to figure out.
Looking at 2024 again, do you think the kind of machinery that BJP has built, an election machinery that BJP has built, why do you think it has become so massively successful? What's the combination that makes it so massively successful? Only organizational structure on ground or something more than that?
I think it's a combination of many factors that have made the BJP very successful. I mean, I think, look, let's not discount the fact that in Narendra Modi, they do have a very, very popular and a very powerful leader. And sometimes in times of trouble, the country does swing behind a leader, right? And that is something which the opposition just doesn't have. Now, when you add that, you've got a very powerful leader and that face which nobody in the opposition can take on. When you add to that the election machine, when you add to that a hunger to win that many people do not have, and then, of course, the opposition will say, then add to the other things, add the electoral bonds, add the fact that the institutions are helping the BJP. I heard Rahul Gandhi saying that if I had the ED and the CBI and the XYZ supporting me, then even I'd be able to win elections. Okay, all of that is fair enough. But there are multiple factors that are actually playing themselves out. And that, I think, is why the BJP becomes so formidable. And then there are other things which then become, things that which don't obviously strike you. In 2019, for example, which is the last time I think I really spent a lot of time on the ground looking at politics. Subsequently, as I said, I've been focusing a lot more on technology and how do you get AI to function and that. But when I was on the ground there, a lot of people were talking about things like something as simple as toilets. And in retrospect, after the results came out, I used to tell myself, I should have thought more about it. I mean, I loved the Swachh Bharat mission. Even in my television avatar, I've done many campaigns around Swachh Bharat and saying this is a major thing. And I'm so glad that, you're having it right from the Prime Minister and others are talking about Swachh Bharat. But the fact that something like that can pay electoral dividends should have struck a lot of us a lot more than it did. Because actually, when I was roaming around in the interiors of Haryana or Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra and everywhere, when you would go to the villages and you talk to, women out there and saying, what do you think? They said, they'd always come up and say, अच्छी बात है हमारे पास अब एक शौचालय है, bathroom बन गया है. Something as simple as that. It sounds simple.
But it has a huge impact on the ground.
It has a huge impact on the ground, right? Now, in 2024, when I'm looking at something as like the Jal Jeevan mission, which I've done some work with that with Editorji, I'm not sure what sort of an impact something like that is going to have. You shouldn't discount that. Because if suddenly you're getting water out of taps, which you didn't get earlier, is that going to influence your voting
decision? So it's much
decision?
more than the ideological rhetoric and the election machinery. It's an actual impact that's happening on the ground.
Precisely.
That many high-flying journalists also discounted in 2019.
They discount, exactly the point. So I'm saying that at the end of the day, when you think, oh, it's going to be the caste arithmetic and it's going to be this, and I feel this is happening.
The impact is much more deeper.
When you're talking to people on the ground and you're asking them, it's not, they weren't necessarily talking about polarization
or ideologies
or ideology or Hindu-Muslim.
They're talking about what difference it made in their life.
Precisely. So they were talking about something as simple as toilets.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I look back at it and said, it should have struck me.
Yeah.